Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw and your Superstars, and also a special Ring of Honor TV weekly weeks of taping. And we'll start it off with that. Following matches were advertised from Ring of Honor's TV taping in Baltimore, Maryland, at Bill Behrens Arena. The Briscoes versus Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, the world's greatest tag team, for the Ring of Honor title. And there was a stipulation, as you will soon find out. The semifinals and finals of the Ring of Honor Top Prospect Tournament: Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong versus Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, and Michael Elgin. Jimmy Jacobs versus Jay Lethal. Mia Kim versus Mischief. Nigel McGuinness confronts Matt Hardy. Well, the stipulation to the match for the world's greatest tag team: if they lose, they will no longer be a tag team in Ring of Honor. Haas and Benjamin was split up and will never be able to team in Ring of Honor again if they lose to the Briscoes. Ring of Honor is also advertising Kevin Steen, Caprice Coleman, and Cedric Alexander, Steve Corino, Rhino, Roger Strong, BJ Whitmer, and Truth Martini for the show. And here's the results courtesy of PWPonderings.com. Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander were fighting another team when Rhino interfered and gored CNC, Coleman and Cedric. Jay Lethal defeated Jimmy Jacobs post-match. Rhino tried to hurt Lethal, but Steen made the save. Match number 3, Tadarius Thomas defeated QT Marshall in a Top Prospect Tournament semifinal. Matt Taven defeated Silas Young in the Top Prospect Tournament semifinal match. Matt Taven then defeated Tadarius Thomas to win the Top Prospect Tournament. Taven won with the help from Truth Martini and will get a future TV title shot. Match number 6 was Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong defeating the American Wolves and Michael Elgin when Roderick Strong pinned Elgin. Steve Corino and Rhino beat an enhancement team. Match number 8, Grizzly Redwood fought Vinny Marseglia to a no contest when Ring of Honor champion Kevin Steen interfered. Kevin Steen defeated Grizzly Redwood afterwards. And that was match number 9. And match number 10, the Briscoes defeated Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin to retain the Ring of Honor tag titles. And for the match stipulation, Haas and Benjamin are no longer a tag team and never will be in Ring of Honor. Haas turned on Benjamin to set up the finish. No more world's greatest tag team in Ring of Honor. Match number 11, Eddie Edwards defeated Rhett Titus. Match number 12, your Divas knockouts for that company. Mischief defeated Mia Kim. The Unlucky 13 match, Michael Elgin defeated Matt Hardy. Roger Strong and Davey Richards in a Fatal 4 to become the number 1 contender for the Ring of Honor TV title. Well, got a few birthdays going on. TNA wrestler Chris Sabin, real name Joshua Harter, turned 31. He was born February 4th, 1982. He suffered a torn ACL in his left knee on July 5th, and he just returned from undergoing ACL and MCL surgery in his right knee in June of 2011. Marty Jannetty, the former star of the Rockers and Midnight Rockers fame, he turned 53 on this past Sunday. The late Kerry Von Erich, the modern-day warrior, real name Kerry Atkinson, was born February 3rd, 1960. He died on February 18th, 1993, when he took his own life. His daughter, Lacey Von Erich, had a stint in TNA before leaving the business. WWE Hall of Famer Dory Funk Jr. celebrated his 72nd birthday on Sunday. He was born February 3rd, 1941. Former WWE star Tonga Fafita, a.k.a. Haku and Ming, celebrated his 54th birthday on Saturday. He was born February 3rd, 1959. Teddy Hart, a real name of Theodore Annis, celebrated his 33rd birthday on Saturday. He was born February 2nd, 1980. He recently appeared at the Hart Legacy Wrestling event last month in Calgary. Japanese pro wrestling legend Genichiro Chinru turned 63 on Saturday. He was born February 2nd, 1950. Following matches are listed on for the 8 p.m. airing of the AWA from last night. Earthquake, Ferris versus Leon White, that's Vader. Earthquake versus Vader. Sergeant Slaughter versus Ali Khan. Colonel De Beers versus Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Boris Zukov versus Brad Renegans. And following matches were listed for 9 o'clock. Airing of the AWA on the espn Classic. The Midnight Rockers versus Knight and Ruiz. Bruiser Brody versus Leon White, that's Vader. Colonel De Beers versus Nick Bockwinkel. Well, WWE had a live event, and there was I had to do some research from a tweet, or you might say Facebook comment by Alex Riley. I had to go see what he was talking about when he said he lost 3 times. Okay, here it is. From Montgomery, Alabama on February 2nd. Antonio Cesaro says the same word repeatedly to draw more heat. Kane and Daniel Bryan from Team Hell No versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose for the WWE Tag Championships. Tensai versus Alex Riley twice. More like 3 times. Well, again, this was reported by Jason Campbell. The Garrett Coliseum holds 13,500 for a house. Well, it was normally 13,500 for a regular show. Well, it was 3/4 full. The crowd filled the floor seats and the bottom bowl of the arena, and they were loud and energetic. Can't help but think that this could have been like the WWE champion were doing house shows, like The Rock. No sign of the so-called People's Champion, even on screen in the arena promo. First match was Zack Ryder defeating Conor O'Brien from former NXT. Ryder came out to a good pop. O'Brien was billed as the Ascension, despite no longer being part of the NXT tag team. He cut a heel promo while walking to the ring quickly, looking very powerful, with beating Ryder down convincingly. Ryder fought back and hit all of his usual spots, including Rough Ryder for the pin and the win. Basically, a good opening match, and good to see some NXT talent on the road. Tensai in the first match over Alex Riley. Tensai's lingerie dance from Raw was shown on the screen, and he came out to some heel heat. A-rye came out to a good pop, but then Miss Piggy Guerrero comes out on stage for a house show and declared the match would be a dance-off. A-rye said he refused to lower himself up to that level, especially in Montgomery, Alabama, and was roundly booed. Varsity Villain coming back. Tensai obliged with a few dance moves before A-rye hit him from behind. Tensai was now the face, and Riley was the heel. This was very interesting turn of events. Riley didn't get too much offense, and Tensai won after his powerbomb and running senton moves, and even missed in a few dance moves along the way, or mixed in. After the match, Riley tried to invoke the "Rockin' My Shoe" rematch clause. I'm not kidding. The rematch was over quickly, and Riley took off his shoe. Then Tensai hit another power move and a running senton to get the rematch pin. Strange dynamic there, but it was interesting. Caitlyn defeated Tamina in the third match to retain the Divas title. Caitlyn received warm welcome, and Tamina did not. This was a pretty physical and actually well-wrestled Divas match. Both women got their offense on until Tamina eventually tried to do the Superfly Splash, but Caitlyn rolled out of the way and hit the spear for the win. Better than an average match for your Divas. Match number 4, Team Hell No defeated The Shield to retain the WWE Tag Team Championship. The Shield came down from the usual stairway spots in the arena. Ambrose and Roman Reigns were the two foes who faced Team Hell No, while Seth Rollins slinked around the outside, causing havoc every chance he got. Daniel Bryan got his usual massive yes and no orgasm crowd chants. Good back and forth action and excellent ring work between Bryan and Ambrose. Bryan got the hot tag late to Kane, who went on a rampage. Chaos broke out in the ring, and finally Kane was about to choke Sam Ambrose, but Rollins ran in and hit a chair shot on Kane to force a DQ win for Team Hell No. Bryan and Kane then got chair shots on all the Shield members and cleared them out of the ring. And the match, after the match, Bryan demanded an apology from Kane for eliminating him at the Royal Rumble. Kane shouted no, and they got into a shoving match before Kane offered his outstretched arms for a hug. Bryan reluctantly and hilariously inched closer and closer before finally embracing Kane, and they celebrated and then exited the ring together. Then they had intermission. Jack Swagger over Justin Gabriel. Lots of the crowd, including the reporter, hadn't returned to their seats due to the horrendously slow folks working the concession stands. It turned out to be a lifeless match, with Swagger getting almost all the offense. Well, at least after the reporter returned. Can't tell if Swagger looks more muscular or just fatter after his time off. Swagger won with ankle lock submission as Gabriel tapped out pretty quickly. Match number 6, Antonio Cesaro defeated The Miz in an ODQ to retain the U.S. title. This was the best match of the night. Cesaro cut his usual anti-American promo and got massive heat. He stated that he would be U.S. champion for a long, long time, but repeated the word long literally about 100 times before finishing. The Miz came out to so-so cheers at first. The match was voted on through the night to be a no DQ match, beating out a 2 out of 3 falls match. The match was excellently booked with a methodical offense to start, then build up to the kendo sticks, then chairs, then eventually a table. Cesaro teased pulling out a table a couple of times to the crowd's delight, but once he realized that they wanted it, he slid the table back under the ring. Miz tried to get a table and then was thwarted off by Cesaro, who again slid it back under the ring for more big heat. Miz got several "Let's Go Miz" chants as he became a big fan favorite, and the match wore on. Both men performed well and sold well. Miz performed his best looking figure 4 yet, and the crowd was really into that spot. Cesaro hit Miz with a kendo stick to break the hold. Eventually, Miz got a table in the ring, and there was a few near table crashes by both men, but finally Cesaro speared Miz into the table to set up in the corner of the ring. Miraculously, Miz kicked out, and both men had some tremendous near falls. Cesaro finally hit the neutralizer for the win. How can Miz kick out of a table shot, but not the neutralizer? Cesaro looked strong in victory, but Miz also looked strong in defeat. Miz got a nice crowd cheer as he sold the injury getting out of the ring. Both men worked their tails off in this match. Got the crowd heavily involved in the action, and the match was the highlight of the show. Match number 7, Cena and Ryback defeated Dolph Ziggler with AJ, Big E, Langston, and CM Punk. Ziggler was out first with AJ, and Langston got some good heat. Punk was out next and actually got some cheers to start. Once he hit the ring, it was all heat as he nearly choked ring announcer Justin Roberts, demanding him to announce that Punk was the true People's Champion. Roberts complied finally, and Ryback came back next to a very large pop. Then Cena came out with the night's biggest pop, although not much bigger than Ryback's. All 4 men were in the ring, and they took turns climbing the corners to show off the crowd, except Ryback, who did the Feed Me More chant, which got a giant following. Even the referee was made to climb the ropes and show off, which got laughs from the crowd. Punk and Ziggler both slowly and heelishly took off their shirts. AJ pretended to try to take her shirt off, but Punk and Ziggler quickly ran over to stop her. No joke. Punk fell, throwing his shirt to kids in the crowd, and also jawed with some other younger kids. Cena ran out to hug the kids after that. Once the match finally got started, Punk did the most of the offense damage to Ryback, while Ziggler did most of the selling for Cena when he was in. Ryback actually did quite a bit of selling in the match, which was surprising. At one point, the ref was distracted by Big E, and he ran in and delivered his big move to Ryback. And the ref turned and saw him sliding out of the ring with the crowd coaxing. The ref threw Langston out and back to the locker room. AJ then ran in and pitched a fit, so she was thrown out as well, as the crowd cheered wildly. Overall, a very good back and forth affair, that ending after Ryback got the hot tag to Cena, who ran through the 5 moves of doom, and Dolph for the pin and the win. Ryback celebrated with the fans at ringside and stuck around a bit longer than Cena. This was a very nice show as the 2.5 hours flew by. And that ended the house show event. WWE wrestler David Otunga accompanied his fiancee Jennifer Hudson to the Super Bowl, and you can view a photo of them on Twitter.com/David Otunga. As she was there to perform America the Beautiful prior to the Super Bowl. Hey, that's my WrestleMania song. Vince McMahon was likely yelling somewhere. The fans that CM Punk approached at ringside on Raw during a promo were independent wrestlers Adorable Anthony Andrews and Marvelous Michael Stevens. They are Georgia wrestlers who work for RPW, AWN, and Anarchy promotion. And that's thanks to the news from Bill Behrens. This was a segment where Punk was asking fans if they saw him in a video where it was revealed that he and Paul Heyman or actor Paul Giamatti were paying Brad Maddox and the Shield. WWE announced that Alberto Del Rio has been suspended from this week's SmackDown TV show. A WWE.com story cited Del Rio's actions on last week's SmackDown and Monday Night Raw as a cause of the suspension, thanks to .net reader Darius Malsiski. Obviously, it's only a storyline suspension. It's only going to last 1 week. It'll be interesting to see how this plays into the taping for tonight's SmackDown. Brian Oglesby and Matt Hyatt were at the Raw show in Atlanta, Georgia, passing along the updates along with superstars. And they said that match number 1, Zack Ryder defeated Heath Slater. Match number 2, Damian Sandow defeated Justin Gabriel. I wonder which one's going to be the dark match and which one's going to be the superstars matches. We'll see how that pans on the tapings for SmackDown tonight. Well, Raw opened with footage of the Shield attacking John Cena last week. Narrator questioned how 3 of the WWE's top superstars would respond to the savage beatdowns. Focus shifted on the Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman segment from last week, where it was revealed that Heyman was paying the Shield. Brock Lesnar's return and the F5 on Vince was also shown. Punk's music played, and he headed to the ring without Heyman. At first, Punk said that he wanted to explain what having a little more than a week to digest does to one's perspective. Punk questioned whether he overacted last week. He said if you think he did, then you never held anything like the WWE Championship. He doubted that the people in the building have ever accomplished anything in their lives. Punk said he acted like a normal person would act because he was screwed. Punk said the WWE Championship was stolen from him and currently held by someone who doesn't deserve it, somebody who doesn't pay the price and doesn't understand what it means to be champion. Punk said that people have asked him all week about the video footage that supposedly showed that he and Heyman colluded with Brad Maddox and the Shield. Punk said he had a question for the fans. He went to ringside and asked a guy in the front row. I was just telling you about who he was. If he saw him. No, you did not see me, Punk told a fan before giving him a chance to answer. Punk went to a woman and asked the same thing and answered for her. Didn't say who the woman was, but Punk then said the fans didn't see him. They still pointed their fat, incriminating fingers at him. He asked Michael Cole, who said you were not in the video. Punk said, there you have it. If Paul Heyman says it was not him in that video, it was not him. It was somebody else, Punk said. He noted that ridiculous as that might sound, people thought in hook, line, sinker into a Vince McMahon video. Heyman said it wasn't Heyman. It was Paul Giamatti or CGI. Hilarious. Punk said Vince doctored a video and all the fat, stupid, and lazy fans are going to eat it up. Punk brought up the F5 that Vince took, and Punk said that he got what he deserved. He said Vince got what he deserved. That's karma, folks. He said that the fans haven't done anything great in their life because they don't deserve it. Then Punk challenged anyone who disagrees to enter the ring and said he would knock them back onto the other side of the guardrail where they belong. He said that he is the real champion and boasted that he was going to grant The Rock a rematch at Elimination Chamber, and Rock will get what he deserves. Punk tried to claim it. Was day number 442 of his title reign. And Booker T's music interrupted as he walked on the stage, and Punk said, "No one wants to hear from Booker. This isn't even your show. Hit the bricks." As Punk said, Booker stumbled over his words, botching, and then composed himself. He said Vicky Guerrero allowed him to come out and decide Punk's fate. Booker said he's going to leave it in the hands of the people. "Are you drunk?" Punk asked. Booker said Punk would face one of his past WrestleMania opponents. He listed Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and Chris Jericho as the option. And immediately I'm already thinking, Y2J. And the fans chanted Y2J along with that. Booker told the fans to download the app only for the voting who they want Punk to face. These people don't even have smartphones. You're not going to download anything. You're a bunch of idiots, Punk said. Strong heel mic work for Punk. I love the way that he's going after the fans and how it played into the fans voting. Paul Giamatti line was classic. I get a kick out of the way Punk continues to say he's granting Rock the rematch. It plays into his claim that he's still the champion and his streak is still playing. But it could also be used if they wanted to add him to WrestleMania main event, or just set up a television match between him and The Rock, as Punk could claim that he never exercised his rematch clause. Well, Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler spoke at ringside, and they actually set up a tutorial video on how to download the WWE app. They also teased an epic announcement regarding the WWE Hall of Fame, which happened like almost 2 hours later for that. Strong heel mic from Punk. Okay, I already said that. Okay. Well, regarding the WWE Hall of Fame announcement, then there was a Ryback making his entrance. How if it's stupid do they think that their fan base is? You should spite them by downloading the free ProWrestling.net app, or do both. Just be sure to download the free .net app. Now that WWE has shown you how to download an app on your phone, just download the ProWrestling.net application as well. Even Hurricane Helms has an app. Ask him on Twitter what it is. It's supposed to be a video game or something. Did you download the free ProWrestling.net app or the WWE app? Go do it now. Graphic boasted the WWE as the #1 show on cable last Monday. Coleslaw and the King thanked the fans for making Raw the #1 show on all of cable last Monday. Footage was shown of Randy Orton being interviewed by Matt Striker. Orton made his pitch to encourage the fans to vote for him to face Punk. Finally, the first match, U.S. Champion Cesaro versus Ryback in a non-title match, of course. Ryback hung Cesaro up in a tree of woe and then kicked him rhythmically, while the fans chanted, "Feed me more," briefly. Ryback had the edge early on offense, but Cesaro caught him with a clothesline to the back of the head, going into a commercial break. There was a back and forth action after the break. Ryback back body dropped Cesaro and then knocked him down with a meat hook clothesline. Cesaro rolled out to ringside. Ryback went out following him. Cesaro caught him with a boot to the face, but Ryback caught him on the second try and slammed him down. Ryback performed the second meat hook clothesline and finished him off with a shell shock. And the match took 9 minutes 45 seconds. Cesaro gets good matches out of Ryback, but I hate the way they keep having the U.S. champion lose non-title matches that never seem to lead to a title match. They are doing a better job of protecting the secondary champions for a bit, but now we're right back to them being fed to the top guys on a seemingly weekly basis as well. Footage aired from last week of John Cena announcing that he will challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 29, only to have the Shield attack him. Footage also shown of Sheamus and then Ryback attempting to make the save. Coleslaw teased an in-depth look at the Shield for after the break. Back from the break, and they showed Chili of TLC fame was in the crowd, front row, behind Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler. Briefly, because I didn't see her through the rest of the event, footage was then shown of Rey Mysterio stating his case to facing Punk to Matt Striker. Mysterio recalled taking Punk's hair in a mask versus hair match. He said he knows Punk's weakness. I like the way they are having Orton, Mysterio, and presumably Jericho make their case for facing Punk later in the show. It makes it feel less trivial than the usual vote on our app that we've told you about to download in step-by-step match of the night. Coleslaw sets up the video footage of the Shield. Backstage segment with Vicky Guerrero telling John Cena that she heard a rumor that he was going to the ring to call out the Shield. She said there was a movie called Death Wish and asked him if that what he has. Cena said there's a show called Raw and a guy called John Cena who won the Royal Rumble. He's going to WrestleMania and will become the WWE champion. But he thinks the Shield needs to be stopped. He said they will be stopped tonight. Coleslaw and the King spoke at ringside and set up the recap of Trish Stratus being named into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2013 from last week. No dog barking included. They are doing a much better job with the Hall of Fame this year. It seemed like they made announcements last year and forgot about it. I suppose that there's still time for them to make the same mistake, but so far they've named the inductee 1 week and then recapped the announcements from the following weeks. Coleslaw did said, you may have heard it on ESPN earlier today, but one of the greats will be taking his spot in the Hall of Fame later on tonight. Lawler hyped the voting for CM Punk match again. Can we please get a Punk promo in which he mocks the fans for being so dumb that they need a WWE tutorial to show them how to download the app? Okay. By the way, the guy who was trying to lead a boring chant during Punk's promo should be taken backstage and force him to watch the tutorial video repeatedly. Footage aired of the Jericho making his pitch to face Punk. He built it around their best in the world claims and said he wants to find out which one of them really is. Match number 2, Swagger versus Santino Marella. Booker sat in on commentary. Swagger dominated the match, and he put Santino away with the ankle lock. Cole says Swagger told him earlier in the day that the ankle lock will now be called the Patriot Act. Swagger went to ringside and asked Booker if he's impressed. Booker said this is the Swagger that he's been looking for since day one, and SmackDown is heating up. And he won in 1 minute 25 seconds. Lawler announced that the voting is open for the WWE app poll and will determine which wrestler will face Punk. Coleslaw said that they would have the results after the break. A generic ad for the main event featuring The Miz was shown. WrestleMania video was shown, and we're 62 days away. Coleslaw boasted that there are a record number of votes coming through, and it's caused technical issues. They opened up voting on the WWE website as well. What website app worth of crap would experience technical issues caused by too many users at once? Wait, never mind. The footage aired of Alberto Del Rio and Big Show drama for SmackDown. Show punched out Ricardo Rodriguez. Well, I didn't see that myself. I was wondering why he didn't appear when Alberto was coming to the ring. So we get into match number 3. Alberto Del Rio versus Cody Rhodes in a non-title match. Cole noted that the Rhodes and Damian Sandow decided to dissolve their tag team. Wow, Cody still has his mustache and has a mustache comb t-shirt that says "Groomed for Greatness." Nice, Lawler said, boasting during the match about the power of the WWE Universe causing the app to be overloaded. John McClane's POV. Welcome to the party, pal. That's the video that's just shown the new Die Hard movie. Well, Cody got a near fall, but Del Rio put him away with a cross-arm breaker. After the match, Del Rio cut a promo in which he said Big Show tried to bully him like he bullies everyone. Del Rio said he wasn't going to let that happen, and that's why he appreciates the support of the fans now. He said the fans made him open his eyes. He said that he's champion not just for himself, but for the fans. Del Rio said it's for the people who work every day and struggle to put food on the table. He said it's the same people who are bullied by people like Big Show. He said Show is going to pay for what he did to Ricardo. Big Show interrupted by satellite on the big screen as he's from his hotel. He said he's not in the arena. He's at the hotel. Del Rio said in a hotel room because he's a coward and he has no cojones. Show told her to speak in English. Show said it's hard for him not to snap. He said it would be easy for him to snap Del Rio into two. He said he did Del Rio a favor by leaving. He accused Del Rio of stealing his World Heavyweight title. Show said finishing off Del Rio in a parking lot or in the ring in Atlanta doesn't get him what he wants. So then said he wants to face Del Rio at Elimination Chamber. He told him to sign the contract and have someone bring the contract to him. Later on the show, he does. Show said that Del Rio better not think about trying to find him at the hotel. Well, he did. A flat pandering promo from Del Rio. They're trying too hard to have their former rich guy suck up to the people who are trying to put food on their table. It's a necessary move, but it just feels too forced on people for my liking. Lawler stood up and said that fans caused a power outage with their pole, just like the Super Bowl when the lights went out. Everybody was thinking it was Undertaker. Not. And then they were thinking it was Shield. The voting was completed, and the winner was Jericho at 57%. Orton had 30%, and Mysterio only had 17%. Coleslaw hyped Miz TV with Paul Heyman after that. Lawler said John Cena will call out the Shield during the show. Commercial break footage aired from SmackDown of Rey Mysterio and Sakara beating Team Hell No in a non-title match. Backstage segment, Daniel Bryan and Kane were bickering over whose fault it was that they lost the non-title match. Bryan said Kane isn't doing his part as his partner. Kane said he thought Bryan could take care of himself. Bryan said he would prove it, and Bryan said he didn't want Kane to ruin his chances of getting into the Elimination Chamber match, so he ordered Kane to stay backstage no matter what, and he did. So we get Rey Mysterio versus Daniel Bryan in a damn good match. My choice, that was the match of the night. Coleslaw noted that Booker T is keeping an eye on former champions for the Elimination Chamber match. Bryan charged at Mysterio in the corner. Mysterio used the ropes to pick himself up, causing Bryan to go through the ropes into the post and to the floor. Commercial break. Late in the match, Mysterio went for the 619, but Bryan avoided it and locked him in the no-lock. Borgasm lock. Mysterio countered into a pin, so Bryan had to release the hold. Mysterio came back with a 619, but he missed when he tried to drop the dime. Bryan applied the Borgasm lock and got the submission win. And the match took 8 minutes 35 seconds. After the match, Mark Henry's music played, and he returned and went to ringside and threw Bryan down. Entered the ring and then he slammed Mysterio. Henry dragged Mysterio in the corner for the Vader Bomb. Sin Cara ran out, only to get caught by Henry from the top rope. And Henry caught him and put him down with the World's Strongest Slam. Henry went back to the corner for the Vader Bomb, but Mysterio recovered. Henry shoved him into the ropes and performed the World's Strongest Slam. Henry performed the Vader Bomb on Mysterio. That's what I do, as Henry yelled. Lawler hyped Punk versus Jericho for later in the show. A rock video was shown to hype the new WWE magazine as they go to commercial break. Strong return for Mark Henry. I'm happy that he held him out until after the Royal Rumble last week, when he may have been lost in the shuffle with all the other returns. This made an impact. If Del Rio retains an Elimination Chamber, then Henry becomes my favorite to win an Elimination Chamber match. If he's added into it, that is. Backstage, Daniel Bryan was angry with Kane because he didn't come out to help with Mark Henry. Kane said nothing was more powerful than their friendship. Bryan asked if he really meant it. Hell no, Kane replied with a laugh. Coleslaw and Lawler set up the video that recapped Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon, and Brock Lesnar segment for last week. At the desk, the announcer spoke about the footage. Lawler said Vince was so injured that he had to undergo replacement surgery, and that was supposedly yesterday. I don't know whether Vince had the replacement hip surgery or if they were just embellishing it for the storyline, but he did legitimately undergo hip surgery. The surgery was planned for before he took the F5. I'm surprised that they didn't show footage of the surgery to add to the realism. At the hotel, Big Show said he wouldn't wait all night for the contract. Room service arrived and left him food. Big Show asked the man if he wanted a tip, and he walked out to the door, and he says his tip, to get a better job. Sheamus makes his entrance into his match, a generic ad for SmackDown focused on Alberto Del Rio. Footage aired of the Shield. As Kane made his entrance, Cole Saul said the breaking news on the Elimination Chamber match. He said Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Daniel Bryan are in the Elimination Chamber match. Match number 5, Sheamus versus Kane in a quiet, very quiet. You can even hear a mouse in this match. What if you hear them talking? Well, let's find out. As I lost my spot. Okay, Kane versus Sheamus versus Kane. It was quiet early since the fans didn't have any incentive to dislike either wrestler. Sheamus hit an impressive backbreaker. He went for the forearm shots, and the crowd came to life. But Kane cut off the shots. Daniel Bryan came to ringside and bickered with Kane, who grabbed him by the throat briefly, which sets up the turnaround and the road kick from Sheamus. Sheamus didn't even see Daniel Bryan for the distraction, and the match only took 3 minutes 50 seconds. Cole saw hype that John Cena would call out the 3 members of the Shield later on the show. Lawler hyped Miz TV with Paul Heyman after the break again. A predictable outcome for Kane and Sheamus, given the Kane and Bryan saga. I wonder if they are all having all these issues now just to set up a singles guys for the Elimination Chamber match. In other words, they could be back on the same page shortly thereafter. Footage aired from last week of Brock Lesnar taking out Vince McMahon with F5. The Miz hosted Miz TV in the ring. He started recapping what happened last week with Heyman and Lesnar, but Heyman mercifully cut him off. Stop, Heyman said. He referred to the Miz as Mr. Mizanin. He said he agreed to appear on the show to clear his good name. Heyman said he wanted to send his best wishes to Vince McMahon. Heyman said he tried to stop Brock Lesnar last week. Miz recalled seeing the footage that showed Heyman was paying the Shield and Brad Maddox. Miz also recalled Vince being on the verge of firing him. Miz said Heyman is the most committed liar he's ever seen. As Heyman was saying, how dare you? He said Punk was screwed and asked Miz if he agreed that the Punk was going to mop the floor with Rock at Elimination Chamber. Miz said Heyman was changing the subject. Heyman said he would answer all of Miz's questions just as soon as he answers his. Miz told Heyman that he was crowding him as he was getting almost lips to lips. He suggested he take a step back. Vicky Guerrero interrupted her with her excuse me routine and said that bickering has to stop. Vicky entered the ring and said Heyman was telling the truth. Paul Heyman had nothing to do with Brock Lesnar returning last week. Vicky said, I did. She said she was secretly negotiating with Lesnar as she kept it quiet because of his controversial track record. Vicky said Brock was the most elite free agent available, and she saw it as her chance to impress Vince McMahon so that he would promote her to the position of permanent general manager. She said she had no idea what Brock would do to Mr. McMahon. She said she felt awful and started to cry on Heyman's shoulder. Vicky, if it means anything to you, I believe you, Vicky, as Heyman said, sucking up to her. I really do. Heyman called for a moment of silence for Vince McMahon, which lasted about 10-15 seconds. Vicky interrupted and said she has one better. Vicky asked everyone to pray for Mr. McMahon's well-being. Really? After another 10 seconds. Really? Really crap. And Miz said they were lying through their teeth. Miz had Heyman hated Vince since he crushed your little company. Miz said that he dangled a carrot of permanent GM in front of her only to pull it away. Heyman said Miz is offending him. Miz said he doesn't care. He called them both bottom feeders. Miz said it's only a matter of time. And this cued Brock Lesnar's music. Heyman grabbed Vicky and fled the ring while Miz prepared for a fight. Clothesline Lesnar has every right to be on Raw because Vicky signed him to a contract. Lesnar entered the ring. Heyman stood on the ring apron with a concerned look. Miz stared ahead, showing no fear, while Brock Lesnar slowly walking towards him. Miz shoved Lesnar, who responded by clotheslining Miz. Very strong interaction between the Miz. Everybody would thinking he was a wuss. Well, he stood up for himself. Proud of you, Miz. Lesnar tossed Miz to the floor and then threw two director's chairs, hitting him at least once. Lesnar picked up another chair and threw it to the floor. Other side where Miz was lying, he picked up a second couch. But then Miz attacked him from behind as he threw it towards the rampway. Miz threw punches at Brock, which responded with knees to Miz's gut, and then an F5 from Brock. No more as Heyman's lying on the floor as he's pleaded. He's sorry, no more. He apologizes, he's sorry, it's okay. Lesnar and Heyman left the ring. Footage was shown of Lesnar roughing up Miz on the stage. Heyman could be heard telling Lesnar, "I understand," as they go to commercial. If you're not completely annoyed by Miz as a babyface, then you have to like the way his character didn't back down from Lesnar. If you're like me, then you enjoy watching Lesnar throw furniture at Miz to put him down with F5. Heyman continues to be brilliant. As I've said before, he's not the puppet master of Lesnar. Rather, he looks like the terrified of what Lesnar will do next, which makes Brock seem like a huge badass compared to countless wrestling monsters who were always portrayed as if they had someone pulling their strings. And the announcer spoke about the Lesnar segment and once again noted that he is under contract now. Match number 6, Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton, non-title match again. Footage aired of Bo Dallas, and on Facebook, Wade Barrett kept on saying that he was going to face Bo Dallas. Well, that didn't happen. Saying he's an underdog with a bite. There's an ugly spot with Wade trying to clothesline Orton over the top rope before Orton was ready to take the move. They lost the crowd for a bit while Barrett controlling the offense. The fans eventually rallied behind Orton, who dropped Barrett with the RKO for the win. Randy Orton just beat the Intercontinental Champion again, Lawler said. That was impressive. Monotone Cole said Orton is building momentum for the Elimination Chamber match. And the match only took 5 minutes. Just read whatever I wrote. Just listen to what I just told you about Cesaro losing non-title matches to top guys who are apparently considered too good to go after secondary titles. Good Lord. Can someone else put Orton and Ryback over? Why don't they protect their secondary champions? Meanwhile, Bo Dallas was somehow annoying during the 10 seconds of camera time he received. The cliche line and his big cheesy smile were too much. Fandango lives video. A new vignette shown saying his name, and then his usual graphic was shown. Lawler said that made him want to see more of Fandango. Coleslaw said Atlanta is probably his favorite city in the United States. Lawler seemed baffled by that statement. Coleslaw reminded him of their WrestleMania moment. Ring entrances took place for CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. In your main event, CM Punk versus Jericho. Once again, no Heyman with Punk. Jericho slide kicked Punk under the bottom rope and got a Y2J chant. Jericho went to the ropes, but Punk recovered and pulled Jericho down neck first over the top rope as they go to commercial. After the break, Jericho was in control, but Punk avoided the Lion Tamer. Jericho caught Punk on the ropes and hit him with 9 punches and followed up with a top rope Hurricane Rana. Punk came back with a knee in the corner and a clothesline, then went to top rope, but Punk got cocky by smiling and playing to the crowd, giving Jericho time to roll out of the way of the elbow drop. Punk came back with a good kick and a good 2 count. Punk applied the Anaconda device. Jericho fought his way to the ropes to break the hold. Punk held on to the referee's 4 count, and this is awesome chant broken out. Oh, first, it was overrated, Punk said. Sit down, Marks, as he said. Jericho came back briefly, but Punk caught him in a position for the GTS. Jericho slipped out and locked in the walls of Jericho. Punk struggled and eventually reached the ropes to break the hold. Punk ran Jericho through the ropes and shoulder first into a ring post. Punk got Jericho up and put him away for the GTS for the 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, you got highlights were shown. A trainer and a referee were tending to Punk as he was rolling out of the ring. Punk defeated Chris Jericho in 15 minutes. A very entertaining match with both guys getting good offense and Punk acting more arrogant than usual with the way he played to the crowd. The right guy went over, considering the Elimination Chamber match. Back at ringside, Clothesline Lawler introduced Bruno Sammartino's Hall of Fame video. The footage featured clips of Vince McMahon Sr. saying Sammartino was completely dedicated to wrestling and he wanted to be the best. There were also comments from Mike Tyson, George the Animal Steel, who was out of character and actually spoke clearly, Rocky Johnson, The Rock's dad, John Cena and William Regal, also Gino Okerlund, Mean Gene, and others. It was with great pleasure that we induct the living legend into the Hall of Fame, the narrator concluded. Back live, and there was a Bruno chant. Coleslaw said Bruno was his hero growing up, and Lawler said that there's never been a more deserving superstar to enter the WWE Hall of Fame, and Lawler congratulated Sammartino. The announcers hyped Cena, calling out the Shield as they go to commercial. A great Hall of Fame video that really built up Santino as a huge deal, even for younger fans who aren't familiar with him. The announcers and even the narrator went above and beyond in that regard. It was really cool to hear the Bruno chant afterwards from the live crowd. Backstage, Van Stryker asked CM Punk where his head is right now. Punk said he's mad because Rock is walking around with something that belongs to him. Punk said he proves that he's the best in the world every minute of the day, and he will prove it again in an Elimination Chamber. It's fun to see something a little different with Punk. The way he hammed it up while standing on the top rope, only to have it cost him his new wrinkle. He's doing a good job of making it seem like he's hell-bent on getting his title back at the pay-per-view. The Rock was then featured in a video that recapped his WWE Championship win. By the way, if you watched the Super Bowl, you also saw The Rock's new commercial, Got Milk. Backstage, Josh Matthews asked John Cena why he would call out the Shield alone. Cena said last week he would challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, even though it seems impossible. He said him breaking out of his slump and winning the Royal Rumble also seemed impossible. He said the Shield pushed last week, and this week I pushed back. Commercial break. Then we get a graphic noting that WWE did 1.5 billion views on YouTube last year. Okay, that's pretty damn impressive. After all, it's a whole year. Big Show was still eating at the hotel and was complaining on the phone to Booker that he doesn't have all night. A guy who looked like an indie wrestler showed up at the door with a contract. Show tried to rush the guy out by saying he doesn't do birthday parties or autographs. When Show opened the door, come back, surprise, Alberto Del Rio was standing there. Show beat up Del Rio in the hallway and tossed him onto a hallway table that broke. Show continued to get the better of Del Rio until Del Rio sprayed him with a fire extinguisher and then slammed the extinguisher into Show's shoulder. Actually, the table, Big Show broke it apart himself. He took the bottom of it and ripped it straight up. Well, Del Rio yelled at Show in Spanish. An elevator door opened. Two guys came out of the elevator. Del Rio told the guys that his friend had bad food. He told them to keep walking. Del Rio got on the elevator and the door closed to end the segment. I hope every wrestler was counting that segment. Apparently, you can knock out Big Show with a shot to the shoulder. The big man has a weakness after all. Hokey pokey. Maddox stood in the ring and Paul Heyman preyed on him because he knows he's a hard-working, honest, up-and-coming superstar. He said that the fans now all know the truth. Maddox said that he's happy that it's all out there. I'm an innocent victim, Maddox said. I'm a wronged man. He said he did the only thing that he could do when he gave Vince McMahon the video footage that proved Heyman was lying about his and the Shield's involvement with Punk. And then Maddox said it in a very, very real way. He's actually the hero of the story. It's going to be me, not John Cena, who's going to teach the Shield about justice. As he said, So Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, justice awaits. You come on down, boys, as he challenges. The Shield's entrance music played, and they entered through the crowd as their normal entrance. Dean Ambrose had the mic and thanked him for the invitation, but he said they don't need one. He said Maddox isn't a hero. He's just a rat. Rollins questioned whether Maddox even understands the concept of justice. He said justice is them giving Maddox the beating he deserves. Well, Roman Reigns said last time it was all business, but tonight they are going to take time to enjoy it. Ambrose then said they get the feeling that Maddox just doesn't get the Shield. All three members hit the ring and put the boots to Maddox. The crowd was flat, even as they hit the triple powerbomb. Well, that cued John Cena to come out. Reigns rolled his eyes, and Rollins appeared to be licking his lips. The Shield noticed Cena entering through the crowd and acted like they were taken back. Ryback's music played, and he was also entering through the crowd on the other side, the same one that the Shield came in on. Rinse and repeat with Sheamus. Sheamus stumbles as he's trying to get over the guardrail. The Shield member tried to head up the ramp, but a group of wrestlers walked onto the stage to block their exit. The Shield headed back to the ring. Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus climbed onto the ring apron and paused for effect, but they didn't get the big reaction one might expect. Babyface trio hit the ring and fought with Shield members. The cameras were jerky all over the place. During the brief fight, the Shield members quickly fled the ring and left through the crowd again. Cena's music played as he, Sheamus, and Ryback glared at the three Shield members from a distance as Coleslaw closed out the show. Wow, that was an odd way to close the show as the heels were running away in fright. The crowd was dead for everything Maddox said. You can't blame him. It's not like he has done anything to generate heat. He's been beaten quickly by everyone he's faced, and it's not like he acted noble in ratting on Heyman, Punk, and the Shield, so the fans had no reason to get worked up either way. He was just a rat getting what he had coming to him, yet the fans weren't going to cheer for the Shield either. I thought the crowd reaction might pick up once the babyfaces made the Dallas Page entrance. They did to some extent. This was not the hot ending that one might have anticipated it being if you were told before the show that the night would end with a Shield versus Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback fight. The whole thing felt flat, though I don't think anyone was really damaged in the process. And that will end my report for this week for Monday Night Raw. Peace out.